Good evening. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Anusha Soni. The Tawang issue continues to dominate the winter session of the parliament. The opposition today staged a walkout led by Congress leader Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi also released a statement slamming the government for refusing to allow a discussion on the floor of the House. While opposition parties continue to demand a discussion, irresponsible statements, one after the other, on the India-China conflict seem to be the norm of the political discourse. Earlier, just about 2 days ago, we were discussing the statement of Rahul Gandhi, who was slammed by the BJP for saying that Chinese are thrashing our forces. Now it's Shiv Sena leader from the Thackeray faction, Sanjay Raut, who has made another loose comment on an issue concerning national security. Amidst the political stalemate over the issue, there are two crucial aspects that stand out. One is the thorough absence of any constructive dialogue and debate on a matter of national security. And second is the complete breakdown of political cooperation between the opposition and the government, which may be expected at a time like this, which any mature democracy may warrant on an issue as serious as the repeated Chinese transgressions. Cutting through the clutter and sieving through the tamasha, we discuss what lies ahead and whether constructive dialogue has been lost to political stunts. First up, a special report.
जिन्होंने 2000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर हिंदुस्तान का उठा लिया, जो हमारे जवानों को अरुणाचल प्रदेश में पीट रहे हैं।
चाइना को इन चीज भी नहीं देगी, लेकिन चाइना घुस गया है। हम भी घुसेंगे।
It's open season between the opposition and the centre after the armies of India and China clashed in Arunachal Pradesh earlier this month. But in targeting the Modi government, the opposition is only mocking our soldiers who are bravely defending our borders at 17,000 feet despite the hostile environment. First, it was Congress MP Rahul Gandhi who claimed that our troops are being thrashed by the Chinese.
हमारे जवानों को अरुणाचल प्रदेश में पीट रहे हैं।
Now, Uddhav Sena MP Sanjay Raut has equated the border battle in Belagavi to the tussle in Tawang.
चाइना घुस गया है, हम भी घुसेंगे।
Provocative statements aside, the opposition has stalled parliamentary business for more than a week now, adamant of their demand for a discussion on China. While opposition MPs protested in front of the Gandhi statue in Parliament, Congress MP Sonia Gandhi claimed that by disallowing a debate on China, the centre is disrespecting democracy.
डिमांड यही है कि सदन में चर्चा चाहते हैं। जो चाइनीज आक्रमण कर रहा है, सारे देश के लोगों को मालूम हो। यही चर्चा अगर नहीं हुई, एक तरफा उत्तर हुआ, तो उसका क्या मतलब है?
The BJP tried to turn the tables on the Congress.
2005 में जब मैं अपोजिशन में थे और चाइना बॉर्डर का इशू उठाया था, तो उन्होंने बोला कि चाइना बॉर्डर का जो इशू होता है वो बहुत सेंसिटिव होता है, इसलिए पार्लियामेंट में चर्चा नहीं करके उसको इंटरनली डील करना चाहिए, और हम लोगों ने उसमें प्रेस नहीं किया। आज वही कांग्रेस पार्टी बार बार कह रहे हैं कि इसको चर्चा में लाना चाहिए।
From mocking our soldiers to questioning the centre, is the opposition trivialising national security?
Has the political discourse trivialized an issue like national security in our country? I throw that question open to our full panel, which is joining us on the broadcast. We have Charu Pragya, who's the spokesperson of the BJP, Arshpreet Karyal from the Congress Party. Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha of the Shiv Sena is also joining us on the broadcast, and Major General K.K. Sinha is also with us on the show. Good evening to all of you. Charu, I'll begin with you, and I'm sure you must have read the statement that has been released by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. There are two parts of it that I want to quote to you. And because you're the government of the day, the elected government of the day, some questions that the opposition parties are asking you. The opposition says that silence on matters of serious concern has become the defining feature of this government's tenure. The refusal to allow a parliamentary debate on such a matter of grave national concern shows disrespect for our democracy. How do you see the statement of Mrs. Gandhi?
First of all, it is very unfortunate that the opposition in India has become so irrelevant that we think even an issue like China, even an issue like India's internal security can be trivialized by whatever they are doing in Parliament. The important thing here is we have statements from our army, you have statements from Mukherjee, and in spite of that, leaders from the Congress who should be responsible with the language they use are using terms like pitai ho gayi, are saying the situation in China or talking about how expansion into Indian territory is happening in spite of having confirmed reports that not even 1 inch of Indian land has been lost. We all know in the skirmish, Indian side came out stronger. We also know that in the skirmish, no weapons were actually used, no bullets were fired. So there is understanding on both the sides, and these issues are too sensitive to be discussed in such an irresponsible manner. And if you want to talk about land lost to the Chinese, why don't we go back to the 62 Chinese war where 650 kilometers of Indian land was given to the Chinese. No reason given to the Chinese. And I also talk about certain instances that happened in 2006, 2008, 2009 and 2013 where similar skirmishes happened. The government of the day refused to discuss it in parliament. At that point of time, it was the UPA government. Look at the Congress today and look at the uproar they are creating. In fact, the then Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh ji, made a statement which is also sad. He said, "Aisi choti-moti baatein ho jati hai, there is no need to discuss it." It's his statement. All people have to do is go and Google it. So today, when you choose to believe on rumors, when you're rumor mongering yourself, you're not playing the role of a responsible opposition. You are creating trouble in the very country that you promised to protect and look after when you enter politics. It's really
Charu, I'm sure you agree that there are some important sensitive matters and details, as you pointed out, that cannot be discussed openly, especially on a sensitive issue like this. That point being taken. But a constructive debate, dialogue and a discussion on national security is essential for any democracy. That being said, if the government's position is that we cannot discuss it on the floor of the House, the opposition also says, and we've been discussing this issue for the last 3 days, that there has been no attempt to take the opposition parties into confidence. There's no all-party meet that has been conducted behind closed doors, and we have just been kept in the dark. We've not been informed anything. There's a very short statement that was made on the floor of the House. That's all we know.
But that short statement has been made, and I believe that gives you complete clarity. And I don't understand what the exact issue is that the Congress wants to dig up at a time like this. What are you saying when you say the Indian side is not handling this properly? Are you crying out for war? Are you saying there should be a battle with bullets fired and missile fires across the border? Is that what you're looking for? See, there is a border dispute. There have been repeated talks. The army generals and the seniors from both sides, both the countries have been in discussion. And this is sensitive. Please do not create something which is going to give space to people to cry out for war. That is not something responsible. And I want to repeat this. Armies on both the sides have not fired bullets.
Okay, Arshpreet, I'm coming to you. There are a few crucial points that Charu Pragya is making. The key point being that the issue is something that we do not want a debate or a discussion on it on the floor of the House. And when the government is doing so, it is only trying to protect national interests. The BJP is also reminding you of the past precedents on repeated occasions, on multiple occasions, when the Congress took a similar position when you were in government. Then why have you changed your position when you are now in opposition? Arshpreet.
Thank you for the question. I heard Charu, without any interruption. I hope she'd follow the same. Number one, we happen to be living in the world's largest democracy, but it's the sorry state of affairs that the government of the world's largest democracy does not want to debate over a national security issue. And as far as this statement of the Bharatiya Janata Party goes, that it's a sensitive matter, why should we discuss it in the parliament? The defense minister has already issued a statement. One-way communication does not make up for debate and discussion. That does not, contribute to the world's largest democracy. And number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party, when was in the opposition back in the day, used to ask the Congress Party to debate over such issues, exactly similar issues. Where go your morality? Where go, your accountability? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party only knows how to blow hot and cold at the same time. they did this, but now that the questions are being posed to the Bharatiya Janata Party, they do not want to debate. We want to know it from the BJP. What are you trying to hide?
Okay,
Why are you trying to
I have a follow-up question. Charu, I'll come to you. Charu, I'll come to you. I'll give you the time for rebuttal. Ashpreet, one interjection. You still have the time to respond. When you say that the BJP at that time was demanding a discussion, are you reiterating what has been said by the BJP? That the UPA government at that time said we cannot discuss on this issue? Was that your stated position?
Not at all. We always used to have debate discussion because for us, people were, paramount. The issues were paramount, not the image of our own party like it is for the BJP. Number two, the nation wants to know what happened at Tawang. 130 crore people deserve to know what happened at Tawang. And the BJP, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, Pathan issue, the movie Pathan is a bigger issue than the national security issue. They think Mr. Modi's image is more important than nation security. And Charu asked, what does the Congress want out of this? We want the Bharatiya Janata Party, the government, to issue a strict
Ashpreet, I will take all these questions to Charu, and she also wants to put in a rebuttal. But it's only fair. It's only fair that I also ask you this: that the language used by some of your leaders, we have discussed the statement of Rahul Gandhi as well, when it comes to matters of national security, ki hamare jawan pit rahe hain, and the kind of words that have been used, does that behove a party of your stature?
Now, if twisting the statements of our leaders,
no, it's not twisting. It's not twisting.
Blowing things out of proportion.
No.
May I just complete, please?
Sure.
So if blowing things out of proportion, misquoting the statement of our leaders would have helped with this situation, go ahead. But if it is not helping resolve the situation, please understand the duty of the
I don't think at any point I've heard that entire speech of Rahul Gandhi and that entire address of Rahul Gandhi, and I don't think there is any distortion. He said those words. He also demanded a discussion on the floor of the House, but he did utter those words which we're talking about. There's no distortion here.
The BJP, instead of greeting Xi Jinping with a lal shirt, should have greeted
I want to bring in Charu into the discussion. Charu, your time for a rebuttal. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to say two things very quickly. Harshpreet, maybe you should go back and check whether Congress discussed internal security on the floor of the House ever or not. And if you're not aware, let me tell you, it never happened. Point number two, Bharatiya Janata Party in the opposition at no point questioned the valor of the Indian Army. Never that has happened. Congress thinks that it is all right to bring down their dignity and all that they do for the security of this nation. It's sad that you are sitting here and justifying this. Point number three, you want to know what happened in Tawang? You are believing unconfirmed sources rather than believing the voice of your own army seniors, army chiefs, army generals. Please listen to what they have to say. It's already been said. This is a military issue. Do not politicize it. And when it comes to issues of national security,
I'll come to you. Let her finish.
Choose your nation before you choose your party. And because you want to talk about China, why don't you tell us why did Congress party sign an MOU with China? You are the ones who are taking funding from them. I don't want to politicize this. I only want to say that India is well protected because it is our soldiers who guard us. India is well protected because our government has made it a priority to free their hands. They are not looking to get the go-ahead from anybody in the center if things get difficult. They are very much able to look after themselves at the border and the rest of us. In any
Ashpreet, before you respond to Charu, there's few I'd like to add. And even earlier, this was pointed out by some experts and observers as well, that when the Galwan clash happened and there were multiple instances on the national security issue, the Congress party and the political discourse has often been found on the wrong side. There is a retweaking, certain degree of retweaking that has happened, and these kind of loose statements which are often made, they can't be ignored anymore. They dominate headlines.
No, two things. We believe the army. We salute the Indian army for the valor that they have shown. Every time they've been at the border, we respect them. We have the highest of regards for the army. But for the Bharatiya Janata Party, its weakness and its timidity has led to so many consequences. And today, our diplomatic ties are as if everything was normal. Our trade dependency is at an all-time high. And vis-a-vis the funds, how much funds have been contributed by China to the PM Cares Fund? Has the Bharatiya Janata Party answered that? Number three, the BJP, Charu just said that the Bharatiya Janata Party never tried to lower down the morale of the army. Well, you are the party, you are the government that allowed ISI into the Pathankot base. and Mr. Modi went
That's
to Pakistan to
that's a very
so
serious
please,
charge.
you have
to make,
always
Ashpreet.
lowered down the morale of the army.
Do you have evidence to back the charge that you're making? No. Stick on number 3. Stick on number 3. Stick on number 3. No. Ashpreet, stick on number 3 and give me the evidence of what you just said. I will go to Charu for a response on that. Give me evidence of what you just said.
Of what? Of what?
Pathankot, ISI, BJP. That's what you said?
Sorry, I beg your pardon, your voice broke down. What?
No. You just made a statement that in Pathankot, ISI was allowed and BJP is responsible for that. What is the evidence of that?
Well, it is everywhere in the media.
Everywhere in the media. That's your evidence.
ISI was allowed into the airbase, number 1. Number 2, Charu, if you interrupt, I'll keep on interrupting you.
No. Ashpreet, you've said...
Let's believe the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Charu, Ashpreet, 30 seconds to you and then I will go to Charu and I need to bring in my other guest as well. 30 seconds, yes.
So if the BJP wants us to believe the Bharatiya Janata Party and Mr. Modi, why in 2020 Mr. Modi said in the all-party meet that no intrusion had happened, when as a matter of fact the foreign minister had categorically told India that an intrusion had already occurred. Now how do we believe the Bharatiya Janata Party when it's lying, openly, khuleam, shaream, and the Bharatiya Janata Party till date hasn't apologized for that. Now I ask Charu, did Mr. Modi say this or not? That no intrusion happened in 2020 when it happened.
You've made your point. Charu, the time is yours. 30 seconds to you, and then I will bring in Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha and Major General K.K. Sinha. Charu, please.
Anusha, not just the spokesperson of Congress, but the pseudo-president, Mr. Gandhi, and many other
question.
Ashpreet, I will not allow you to interrupt, like I did not allow anybody else to interrupt when you were speaking. No. Let her make a point. She has the right to make a point the way she wants to. Nobody is going to dictate how you talk on the show, and you will not dictate how somebody else speaks on the show. Charu, please go ahead. No, let her make her point. Charu, please go ahead. Please go ahead. One at a time, please. Charu, please go ahead.
Ashpreet, you can decently wait because this is not an issue that deserves screaming from your end, especially when you happen to be at the end, which is
learning from the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Ashpreet, I will not allow you to interrupt. Please let her speak. This is not how a debate will happen here on the show. Please, I request you. Ashpreet, I'm requesting you. Ashpreet, I'm requesting you. Please let her make a point. Please go ahead, Charu.
Great offense at the lies Ashpreet continues to spread like the rest of the leaders of the Congress party. I ask again, Ashpreet,
following your footsteps.
Wait for your
not done, not gentlemanly and not courteous. Ashpreet.
Me to speak in that you will understand.
Charu, go ahead. Charu, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anusha, and for the last time, Congress is a party that chooses to believe in hearsay and spread rumors, like Ashpreet is doing right now on your show, without any evidence to back up the tall, false and sad claims that he is propagating, as Mr. Gandhi does. So I want to say that please stop rumor mongering. If you want to be a political party in this country, stand by your soldiers. Instead of when you have nothing better to see on a television debate, you say, kahin se to suna tha, kahan se suna tha, mujhe pata nahi hai, lekin ye ho gaya tha. ISI ki baat kar rahe ho. Arey, you're the same party which refused to retaliate even after the terror attack in Mumbai. You're the same party. Please grow a conscience when it comes to our country. Choose India sometime. Don't stand on the wrong side of the border every time there's a problem. Sometimes you're with China, sometimes you're with Pakistan. Are you ever with India?
You know, Ashpreet, when responsible political party spokesperson like you, who are learned, well respected, make an assertion on national television, I believe that you must have some kind of evidence. Then you're no different from those people who hand out certificates of nationalism to people and doubt the credibility of your own party or whether you're nationalist or not. So if you make a claim, there must be evidence. It can't be that kahin humne padha tha, it's all over the media. When you're making that very serious statement, you have to back it up with proof.
Now, allow me to give an answer. One, I'll show the report on the TV, that this happened, but can the Bharatiya Janata Party show a report that no intrusion happened at LAC?
I want to move forward from that point. I want to move forward. Sorry, Ashpreet, I'll come back to you. Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha, I'm coming to you. Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha, I'm coming to you. There is a statement that Mr. Sanjay Raut has made today and he said बात इंच की नहीं है. वैसे तो उनकी सरकार जो दिल्ली में बैठी है वो भी इंच की भाषा करती है कि चाइना को इंच नहीं देंगे लेकिन चाइना घुस आया है. That's the word, exact word that Mr. Sanjay Raut said. Is this a responsible language when it comes to a national security issue when our forces are dealing with a difficult situation along the LAC? Mr. Jha.
The first thing is that what I have to tell in this national media, that the issue for BJP right now is who is Rashtrapita and who ought not to be a Rashtrapita. Mr. Narendra Modi should be declared as Rashtrapita and Mahatma Gandhi instead of Mahatma Gandhi. So the issue lies with the BJP. What is the importance of the issue of a China border? Or the issue of declaring a Rashtrapita is very important.
You have made an important point, but why didn't you answer the question I asked you, Mr. Jha? Most respectfully.
I'm coming to the point.
Yes.
The thing is that the issue of Belgavi is pending for a long time. And there is no action by this so-called ED Sarkar running in the Maharashtra. And therefore, what has happened? The Karnataka CM has issued threats and has made certain statements which are provocative. And to that response, this response has come. So in any manner, this is a provocative statement. It can't be assessed at this moment. This is a statement made in a particular way that if China can come, we can also come and we can save our border. And this statement cannot be construed that it's an insult to our jawans of the country.
Does that help your argument or does that negate your argument? The fact that you're comparing Maharashtra or equating Maharashtra with China and you're saying Karnataka is India and you're going to transgress, is that really an appropriate example to give? Is that the language you should make? I mean, I'm appalled you're saying that.
That means that we don't require any permission to go into our border, and which the Karnataka CM has said at this moment that we will not allow anybody to enter the border. So in that response, it has come. It is not an insult to our jawans of the country. If it is believed that, then it is a sorry taking place on national media also. But eventually, this statement has been made with some kind of
Mr. Jha, I do believe that if one politician or another says something bad about our armed forces or which can be implied to be bad about our armed forces, I don't think that really affects the stature of our armed forces in the eyes of any good citizen, any responsible citizen. It reflects on the political party. It reflects on the neta who's speaking the language of this nature. I'm not saying that Mr. Sanjay Raut said anything bad about our security forces. All I'm saying is that this is a very loose comment to make at a very sensitive situation and point in time.
The sensitive issue is that when China is coming down on our border, these issues have not been debated by BJP in Central or anywhere else. They want to escape these kind of issues from Doklam. Since the Doklam and this Tawang, all the issues have been bifurcated and deviated and nothing else. They don't want to discuss about the issues on security because it's an important issue of international security also.
Sir, before I go to Major General K.K. Sinha, I want to ask this to you categorically. Does your party and you support the statement made by Mr. Sanjay Raut?
See, the statement has been made on a provocation given by the Karnataka CM. So we agree with the statement, but that agreement combines that there is no insult to any of our jawans of the country.
Do you think it's a loose statement to make? Mr. Jha, do you think this is a loose statement to make? All right. I don't think I'm getting a response on that. Major General K.K. Sinha, I'm coming to you. You have heard the political party spokesperson. You've heard the political leaders of this country, and we're talking about national security issue. We have forces which are guarding us along the LAC, a very difficult nation and multiple friction points that we are facing. How does this narrative really impact our Jawan, our armed forces and officers like you when you hear this political discourse? Major General Sinha.
Anusha, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And Jai Hind. Look, when you see this cheap, and the armed forces, when they see this type of cheap political, gimmicks going around, and on national security issue, and national security issue is an issue which, out of 195 countries in the world, no one, does it the way it has started now. It was not the norm. 75 years of our, existence after the independence, The number of, time when we have gone through even the bad situations, 62, we started in 47, 48, and come down to anything which is happening along the LAC, whether it's happening with the Pakistan or now with the 2.5 front, it never. But now it has become a norm. It has become a norm to give a beating, had a very derogatory, very cheap remarks on your armed forces. At the same time, say that we salute them. We are standing with them, but you are trying to create a narrative which is actually helping, your adversaries.
Major General Sinha, is it the new low in the narrative, or perhaps the low that already existed is being called out more often?
Absolutely, it's a new low. It has not been there. Even after, 62 war, if 67, if you remember what happened, 400 Chinese killed, 80, was there no one even that time made anyone, this type of matter. When some wrong shoe happened in 87, 88, before the Rajiv Gandhi in 88 went to China, and thereafter, the things started changing. Even during that time, some wrong shoe is same in the Tawang sector. It is, where you are seeing, where there's Yangtze, that debate is not there even today. The people who understand the Shandrong-Chu, the standoff for 87, from 86 to 87 for 1 whole year, under Sundarji, and we were absolutely on the piggyback, but, no debate. Rajiv Gandhi went in 88. Then the peace and tranquility, your confidence building measures, all this started. No debate. Today, when you are starting a debate is okay, fine. Whether, you should be given more number of squadrons. The squadron was depleting to the extent that it has come down to, criticality of 29 out of 45.
Sir, before I go back to my political guest, there's one part, I think, which BJP, Congress, Shiv Sena would want to hear from somebody like you. That when it comes to national security, should there be a united political stance in this country above party politics? Because clearly this party-specific politics, this bickering between the government and the opposition, the kind of barbs that we have seen, which does not behove the political leaders who are speaking them, this does not help the cause. This does not help the entire concept of national interests, which we are pursuing along the LSE on the diplomatic channels, on the diplomatic tables.
Anusha, you are asking me.
Yes, sir. Yes, Major General Sinha, I'm asking you.
See, you have to understand, for national security, you have got councils, you have got, the forum on which these things are discussed. Then the chief, the people who matters, they come and tell you. Whether it was happened in Balakot, whether it happened in Galwan, every time, and thereafter the Raksha Mantri, who is responsible, comes and gives you, what has exactly happened. Of late, it's that even like Eastern Army commander after the Yangtze, he's openly come to the media, because the media has become, very, very important, where the people come to know exactly what is happening. He has given you very clearly that we have given a good thrashing. These people have run away from there.
And that positioning is very important at a time when we face a propaganda war and information war coming from an adversary like China that Major General Sinha is talking about. I want to go back to Charu Pragya and Ashpreet Kadial. Charu, once again, reiterating what I had asked you earlier in the beginning of the show, is there a need for political consensus and understanding to be built across party lines, and the onus lies on the elected government of the day?
I agree with you. There is a very, very grave need, urgent need for this consensus to exist. And I think this consensus can begin by the opposition parties choosing to believe the statements which our army seniors are making to the media, by choosing to believe the statement which our defense ministers are making, rather than being with unconfirmed sources and rumor mongering. That's the first thing. Second thing, it's really sad when even on television, educated people like Ashpreet take the line of debate that they do. I come from a family of uniformed men. Please do not doubt them or their intention or their ability to protect this nation. The government stands behind them, not in front of them. So today, when you question the government, you indirectly question them.
Ashpreet, I'll come to you. I'll give you the time to respond. So, Charu, basically, my question to you is that can there be an all-party meeting? Can there be an initiative from the side of the government when all political parties can sit on the table? To be more precise.
Yes, if there is a requirement for that, I am sure that the government is going to initiate that as well. But at the same time, my very strong and very firm question to the opposition is, why rumor monger?
Okay.
When your own
I've last 1 minute, Harshpreet. Is there a need to be more careful when it comes to discourse around national security? Politics can be kept aside?
Definitely, the Bharatiya Janata Party really needs to understand that and take it to their heart. Because the Bharatiya Janata Party has tried and ensured that the stance of India was divided instead of being united. Because, you know, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party that kept quiet about this issue. And the parliament was running. It had been 3 to 4 days. Despite this issue having, transpired, nobody talked about it from the Bharatiya Janata Party, and it only came forward after the media report came to forth. And number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party is preventing us from having a united stand by not having a debate discussion over this issue. Once everybody knows about it, we can walk towards, way forward, having a concrete plan of action which everybody can agree upon.
I'd like to end this debate. I'm short of time. I'd like to end this debate with a hope that we can have a culture of political discourse in this country where we have a united front, a united political front, especially on matters of national security. And these kind of loose, irresponsible statements do not come from different political parties or different quarters. With that, it's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. Griha joins you with the biggest exclusive. Thanks for watching.